Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action. I'm back for a DVD and Blu-ray update. The mountain is huge again, so let's get into it. Got a feeling it's going to be another Roger Corman movie length update this time. I'm going to try and get through everything as quick as I possibly can, but you know how it has been with me lately. They just keep going on. 3 DVDs, whole stack of Blu-rays, a special bonus item at the end that we are definitely going to take a look at last. It's going to be very exciting. Kick off with the DVDs first. This first one, Fear Farm 2. I enjoyed Fear Farm. Fear Farm is a modern, just very cheap, low-budget slasher, all set in like a maze, and this is the sequel. I mean, it was the most basic, straightforward plot. Like, annoying teens go on this. It was like a game kind of thing. Like, they go to this maze, and if they're told if they complete it in a certain time, then they'll get all this money. It doesn't work out that way. They get knocked off one by one in more brutal and hilarious fashion. I'm presuming Fear Farm 2 connects directly because of the way the Fear Farm 1 ends. It probably leads straight into this. And look, it's fun. It's just dumb and cheap, like 71 minutes. It's going to be quick, and that's what I found quite refreshing about the first one. It wasn't trying to do a 2-hour like expose into slasherdom. It was just, an hour and a bit, kill people, we're done here. And it looked good, so yeah, I'm looking forward to Fear Farm 2. The next one, I've got a couple of cheapies off eBay, filling in the Sci-fi channel blanks. I haven't done this in a while. Mega Snake. This one was actually quite difficult to find. There was no local release. There was a UK one. I think there might have been an American one, but UK release is what I picked up. It showed up locally. I've always wanted to check this one out because it's got Michael Shanks in it, who was best known from Stargate SG-1, and I always liked him in that. And yeah, look, it's a new image film, so it's got a potential of having a little bit of quality in there. And yeah, it was a Sci-Fi Channel giant movie about a snake. It's going to be great. I'll read a bit from the back here. An ancient mystical snake escapes, begins attacking the residents of Tennessee. It is up to Les, a man with a paralyzing fear of snakes, to save his hometown from extinction. Well, there you go. So, yeah, it's directed by Tibor Takas. He's done a whole bunch of Sci-Fi Channel films. So, yeah, we'll see how we go. Mega Snake. Hopefully not a mega waste of time. And this is an incredibly early Asylum film, and therefore was shown on Sci-Fi Channel Halloween night. And this one, I've been told, is actually quite good. So yeah, looking forward to this one. There you go. Obviously, taking a bit of a, Halloween is obviously their mockbuster attempt here, very early mockbuster attempt, but it's a horror masterpiece from Fangoria's Michael Gingold. So Fangoria is involved. That's a good thing. Read from the back, based on the actual events of Halloween night 1982, an inmate of a maximum security security medical facility escapes after brutally murdering 2 guards. Upon returning to the house where he was born, he goes on a killing spree that will make him Southern California's greatest mass murderer. All sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? Well, anyway, there you go. Halloween night. Looking forward to checking this one out. We move straight on to the first pile of Blu-rays. We got here the brand new Dolph Lundgren, Frank Grillo film, Operation Seawolf. I'm a Dolph completist, basically, at this point. I will see anything he's in. And, yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff lately has been him for, a very small amount of scenes. I don't know if I'm going to find that is the same here. I've got a feeling that it's going to be a Hiram A. Murray film, who I'm presuming is this guy. He'll probably be the lead, and yeah, Frank and Dolph will probably be secondary cast. It's a safe assumption. We will see. In the last days of World War II, Germany, desperate for any last grasp to defeat the Allied powers, looked to their last remaining weapons and soldiers. There's a bunch of spaces missing on the back of the words here. German Navy and the last remaining U-boats were formed together for one last mission to attack the United States homeland. Captain Hans Kessler, that's Lundgren, a grizzled submarine commander from both world wars, is called into service to help turn the tide of war. The mission was soon to be known as Operation Seawolf. Yeah, I mean, it sounds good, and I like the idea of him being like a grizzled captain, so yeah, there you go. I'm not really bothering showing the inside of these things, they're just all basic Blu-rays. Yeah, UK disc, and I believe there is a Region 1 that's just come out, so there you go. Operation Seawolf. And this one, we're definitely raising the quality spectrum here. This is The Mechanic, Charles Bronson. I only had this on DVD. I don't really know why. It just was, it just happened. Now I've got the Blu-ray. Excellent film. I watched the Blu-ray. Blu-ray looks very good. This is the UK one. There's a Kino, I think, did the American disc. I presume they're the same transfer. Yeah, I expect everyone here has seen The Mechanic. It's a classic Michael Winner film from, when is this? What a year on this? 72. 72. So Bronson's looking not exactly young, but he's got this sort of a hippie hairdo kind of thing going on. But this is probably one of his best performances because he's really acting to his strengths in this. He's very... his facial expression does not change in the whole movie. He's got a job to do. He doesn't really talk about if he likes it or if he doesn't like it. It's just his job. His job is to be the mechanic. And the mechanic essentially is a hitman for hire. That's the whole point of this. And he trains an underling. The underling is Jan Michael Vincent, who's in probably one of his best roles. And it's the whole thing was remade a few years ago. But and I quite like the remake. With I've forgotten who his is. Yep, I completely forgot what his name is. I'm having one of those days, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. The Charles Bronson original is the best, and he has 100 Ways to Kill the Mechanic. It's a classic. It's a classic for a reason. And then we moved on to Messenger of Death. I really am just filling out the Bronson collection on Blu-ray at this point. There was a lot of Kino Bronson in my last update. This is an 88 films release. I hadn't seen this one, so I popped it on. I really enjoyed this one. This was much later in the career. This is, I'm pretty sure it's 80s. Yeah, 1988. This is almost the end of canon at this point. It's quite late. But this one sees Charles Bronson as sort of the middleman between two, I don't want to say warring, but two brothers. I think they were Mormon. I think it was a Mormon family. Two Mormon family brothers that don't get along, and there is a sort of a red herring mass murder is how the film starts. There's a blame game that happens, and we've got Charles Bronson that is a reporter. He's just a reporter for the local paper, and he interviews one side and then interviews the other side, and it just gets all messy. And then there's conspiracies, and there's it's all kinds of good stuff happening. This one, Messenger of Death, really enjoyed it. Very violent. Recommend that one. This was an upgrade. A friend of mine sold me his copy of this, Red Dawn. I haven't seen this film in a very, very long time. Probably since I first got the very old DVD. I think I probably just watched it the once. It wasn't a film I grew up with. Now I know it's one of those 80s films that does get sort of lumped in with your war games and all that kind of stuff. But I missed it at the time. So I'm actually kind of keen to check it out again in HD because I don't recall much about Red Dawn. But my friend, he bought the 4K, and then he was happy to sell this one. So this is the Shout Select, which is nice. It's got a slipcase and another artwork underneath there. It's Patrick Swayze, C. Thomas Howell, Leah Thompson, Charlie Sheen, Jennifer Grey. Like it's a big cast, and it's one of those films I'm just not that familiar with. But I know everyone else is watching this, looking at me going, you call yourself explosive action, and you are not that familiar with Red Dawn. But it just is what it is. Can't get to them all. Can't have seen them all as a youth, and I've only seen it once on DVD, and I don't remember much. So Red Dawn, Blu-ray, happy with that. We've moved on to some Dark Force now. We've got here Redneck. This one is it is a Dark Force / Code Red, and is Eurocrime with Franco Nero, one that I've never seen before. Telly Savalas in this as well, otherwise I don't know a great deal about this. This one I did not get when it first came out. I remember there was some issues, I think, around subtitles. There might have been some missing. don't know if that's entirely right. English mono, Italian with English subtitles, and I think from memory there was a problem with some of those subtitles not being there for a lot of scenes. Like it's just Italian with no subs. Could be wrong, but that's what I recall. And that put me off ever picking it up. But it's still in stock, and they had a sale. I think I ended up paying like, I don't know, $9 or something for this. Chucked it in with a few other things, so there you go. We will check this one out. What year is this? It is from 1972. And yeah, I mean, it's Franco Nero, so I'm sure I'm going to like it. The Redneck. The next one was a very lucky purchase off Facebook. This is very, very out of print, so much so that the company that made it, pretty sure they're bankrupt or they've vanished. I don't know, they left some people with some pre-orders that were never fulfilled, which is not too good. I'm talking about Dorado Films, and this is the Jose Ramon Larraz double feature, which I remember seeing at the time when they released it, but I didn't pick it up. It was one of the few that I didn't at the time. I'm not too sure why I didn't. But anyway, here it is. It's got two films, Emma Puertas Oscuras and Estigma, two films from 1974 and 1980. So yeah, I've never seen these films. It just looked like something that I should probably check out, some Spanish horror. And any features and things, yeah, there's an insert in here. So we get the booklet, which is cool. Nice little booklet. Stuff about the movies. And some cards, some lobby cards. So that's cool. And yeah, and the disc. So yeah, I've not seen either of these. I have been told Estigma is actually quite good, so we will see. Estigma's in full screen ratio. I wonder what the cause is for that. Maybe it was a TV movie. Maybe it was the only print they could get. Not too sure, but yes, Dorado Films. Their Facebook is still there, but they haven't like replied on there in a few years. Their website's gone. I think it's safe to say they're dead. And like I said, left a few people with some pre-orders that were not fulfilled, so not too good. But there you go, Jose Ramon Larraz double feature. Nice to get that one. Very hard to print, very hard to find. As is, I think this one's slightly getting there as well. The Horrible Dr. Hitchcock. I've watched quite a few Barbara Steele films recently in the last couple of months, and yeah, this was one I didn't have. Same mate that had Red Dawn, didn't want this anymore. Old Olive Films release, and another friend of mine was telling me it was basically a classic. So yeah, I picked it up for a good price, and I enjoyed watching it. I think I need a second go with this one. There's a few things going on in this. I'll read a bit from the back. From director Robert Hampton, Lust of the Vampire, comes The Horrible Dr. Hitchcock. Twisted and terrifying tale of Dr. Bernard Hitchcock, that's Robert Fleming, whose secret desires and perverse passions lead to the death of his wife, Margaret, that is Teresa Fitzgerald. Remarrying years later, the Doctor's new bride, Cynthia, that's Barbara Steele, is unaware that her husband intends to use her blood to reanimate the corpse of the deadly departed Margaret. And poor Barbara, she just gets it left, right, and centre in this film. Just really does. Like, it's... poor thing. But I enjoyed it, and like I said, I need to watch it again, because there's a few bits I kind of missed. Just need to clarify some stuff, but I don't want to go into it too much. Good film, and yeah, it certainly looked very good, very gothic horror, so there you go. What year is this? It was 1964. 1964. So that was a good one. This was an upgrade that took a while to happen. I got the old Australian DVD of this well over a decade ago, and yeah, finally got a Blu-ray. This is Satan's Little Helper. This is great. I'm very happy that we have a Blu-ray now on Synapse Films, Jeff Lieberman film. So much fun. Very, it's not at all a campy horror. It's very, it's kind of throwback in a way. It's kind of modern in a way. But it's just got a really nice charm. So the whole thing is about this kid. We'll read it from the back. 9-year-old Douglas Woolley, obsessed with the handheld video game called Satan's Little Helper. Annoyed that the attention of his big sister Jenna is being distracted by her new boyfriend Alex. These two concerns collide on Halloween when Douglas witnesses a serial killer in a devil mask posing his victims like outdoor All Hallows Eve displays. Not comprehending how real the carnage is, Douglas becomes Satan's little helper. And that's very bad news for Alex, for Douglas, and for Jenna's mum, Meryl. And why I really enjoyed this one is it's got this kid that is just completely unaware that he's befriended this serial killer. He thinks he's befriended the devil from this game. And they almost have this weird relationship when we as the viewer watching it going, you know that the serial killer is just like playing for time and he's just taking advantage of this kid, but it's almost kind of sweet. It's a really weird thing, but yeah, it's a great one from Jeff Lieberman. Kind of unsung. I think more people need to see it. And Synapse Films catalog in here. So yeah, if you've not seen Satan's Little Helper, I do recommend it. It's from like 2004. It's quite a modern film in relation to some of his previous films. I mean, Jeff Lieberman's done all kinds of classics like from the 80s, but yeah, this is one of his more modern classics, Satan's Little Helper. Definitely check that out. This one, I'll put this down as not too bad. I think it didn't blow me away, but the cast was quite good. It was just a little bit slow. This is The Bat, new one out from the Film Detective. They're doing good work. They're not doing too many releases, at least the ones that I've been seeing hit Amazon. It's only sort of like one every other couple of months. Seems to be about the quantity that they're putting out. They're doing a lot of these sort of very obscure horror films or sci-fi films. And I've just been picking them up because they've been at least fun. This one's fun. Yeah, just there's a little bit. There could have been more with this film. Particularly it's got Vincent Price in it. I'll read from the back. Downtrodden country estate becomes the site of a horrific murder. Predator has steel claws and rips his victims to shreds. Who is he? Vincent Price stars in this thriller about a dilapidated estate that becomes the site of a grisly murder. Prolific writer-director Crane Wilbur helms this feature with a cast that includes Agnes Moorehead, Gavin Gordon, and in her last role, Darla Hood. The Gallery of Weirdos is guaranteed to give you the creeps. But yeah, and the Bat, I can't really talk about the Bat too much without giving it away, but the Bat takes various forms, I suppose you could say, in this film. So yeah, it's not too bad. It was only a black and white horror in 1959. Only ran 80 minutes. Even that felt maybe a little too long. This might have worked better as one of those sort of shorter 65-minute kind of things. But look, it was still nice to see Vincent Price again. So there you go. The Bat. Not a super glowing recommendation, but it was enjoyable enough. Next, we got 4 Shout Factory exclusives. These things are a pain. I know if you're in America, it's not so much a pain, but Shout Factory store intentionally do not ship internationally. I believe that even includes Canada now. I think it's just literally US. And yeah, if you want to get these things, you've got to get a friend or something like that to, or a drop shipping service. Luckily, I have some friends that have some friends, and every few months we try and get all the ones we can. So some of these are actually already out of print. We've just had them waiting stateside until we had enough to warrant sending them all over. The first one here is The She Creature. Great cover on that one. Hypnotized. This is from 1956. One of the most memorable of the 50s monsters. So that is why I'm looking forward to checking this one out. Reading the back here. Andrea Talbot becomes a pawn in the deadly intentions of Dr. Carlo Lombardi, who uses his sinister powers to regress her to a past life as a prehistoric humanoid monster from the ocean's depths. That's total Roger Corman stuff right there. Using Andrea to commit shocking and vengeful murders, Lombardi's crimes go unchecked until the assistant-turned-assassin slowly begins to take control of the hideous new form. And it is an American International picture, so yeah, it's... I don't know if it actually has Roger Corman's name on the back here, but there'll be involvement in here somewhere. Yeah, but anyway, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Beaches closed till further notice. Yeah. Anyway, check this one out. It's from, yeah, like I said, 56, only 78 minutes long. Yeah, She Creature, I don't know, I haven't seen this one. Looking forward to it. This one, been meaning to check this out for a long time. pretty sure this featured on the what was the documentary? Machete Maidens Unleashed. I think this one showed up on that one, and the trailer looked madness. This is the hot box. Never seen this one. A tropical torture chamber where anything can happen. A New World Pictures release. Again, this one should be a bit more on the Roger Corman side of things. Reading from the back. Award-winning filmmaker Jonathan Demme from Silence of the Lambs produces and co-writes the hot box and action thriller straight from the grimiest corner of the grindhouse. I'm very tired. It was a late night last night. 4 nurses working in the tropical Republic of the Sea of Rosario enter a hellish nightmare where they are kidnapped and delivered to a rebel army fighting a guerrilla war against oppressive government forces. Tormented by every man that crosses their path, the 4 women must band together in this dense jungle in pursuit of a solitary goal: survival. Hot box. There's going to be like guns and boobs, and it's just going to be glorious. 1972 this one came out, and the names, I don't recognize any of the names in this. Directed by Joe Viola, but do not recognize any of the other names that are in the film. But there you go. The hot box, awesome. Love the yellow cover. This one I've had on good authority is quite good fun. This is the Flesh Eaters. This one definitely is sold out. The only people who will not be sterilized with fear are those among you that are already dead. That's a good tagline. A flight chartered by a petulant film actress and her secretary goes haywire when a storm and engine trouble force their down-on-his-luck pilot to land on a remote island. The island is inhabited by Professor Peter Bartell, a scientist with a disturbing past, even more disturbing present. Experimenting on mysterious microbes existing in the water surrounding the island, Bartell hopes to cultivate them into insatiable monstrosities, capable of eating their prey's skin in a blink of an eye. Well, that's definitely a flesh eater. Really nice cover on that, kind of subdued. Really cool. This is from 1964 and directed by Jack Curtis. There's a bunch of features on this too, which is nice. Alternate cut of the film. That'll be good. There's a commentary, there's interviews, including filmmaker Fred Olen Ray. That's interesting. Okay. And posters, lobby cards, all that kind of stuff digitally. There's the inside, nice inside photo. But yes, good buddy Extra the Mutilator was talking about this one, the Flesh Eaters. He was very excited when they announced this, so yeah, I'll be checking this one out. Very nice. And the last of the shouts. This one means I can finally get rid of one of those multi-packs from Shout Factory, because I've now completed everything on DVD onto Blu-ray. This is David Carradine, the Warrior, and the Sorceress. What a glorious cover. What a glorious cover. That's probably the most buff that Carradine has ever looked in anything. Full Conan vibes going on here. It's obviously sword and sorcery. Welcome to the distant world of exciting battles, exotic women, mystical secrets, and evil wizards. Cain, David Carradine, is the last survivor of a mighty warrior tribe. Once an exalted warrior priest, Cain now wanders the planet as a mercenary sword for hire. In one small village, he finds 2 vicious clans struggling for power. Cain becomes embroiled in the treachery, the battles, the mighty wizardry, the rampant debauchery. That is a summary. You've even got him there looking very kung fu. So, yeah, this is a good time. It's got another New Horizons on it, so once again, I'm assuming Roger Corman's involved. And directed by John Broderick, 1984. The DVD, I don't actually recall if I watched the DVD version, but I did a long time ago have this on a Vestron VHS, which is where I have seen it. So, there you go. This one has a nice reverse cover. Actually, the reverse cover is pretty good. See it there through the blue. But this is the cover I've known. That's the cover I'm going to keep there. So there you go. Warrior and the Sorceress. This kind of thing should be a wide release. I don't know why this one has to be a pain in the ass. Limited to 1,000 or 1,500. Direct sales only. Come on. I mean, all Shout Factory release wide now is like 4K films in a slipcover. Just put the good stuff out, please, and sell your 4Ks directly. 4 Mondos I'll burn through quick. Haven't seen any of these ones actually. Don't Deliver Us from Evil. That's the reverse cover on this one. A film by Joel Serrier from 1971. This is a French film with English subs. Two young convent girls become friends, decide to spend the summer together. However, their innocent bicycle rides and walks in the country develop a much more sinister side. Oh dear. Influenced by their reading of forbidden books, they decide to explore the world of perversion and cruelty. This is exciting. They find a victim and use their innocent appearance to seduce and destroy him. Once they have stepped over the line, they find it impossible to stop. Soon they are contemplating the ultimate evil act. This one sounds like a riot. There's the inside. Get some nice lobby cards there. Standard Mondo release. So yeah, haven't seen it, but that one sounds particularly good. This one is The House of Terrors, Japanese film, and from 1965. And it's a black and white film. Recently, widowed woman discovers that her former husband, who died on an insane asylum, owned a remote country mansion. She and a group of friends go to the villa and find a weird demonic statue in the hallway. They are joined by a hunchback caretaker who tells them of the numerous murders that have occurred here. Soon the guests begin to hear strange noises, including a disembodied laughter, it's always good, and feel they are being stalked by a disturbing presence that haunts the mansion. I love a good haunted house. Japanese mid-60s haunted house. This is going to be a good one. I'm pretty sure about that. Inside again, get the Inside House of Terrors little book. This is nice. Lots of info about the films and photos and things. Posters and the disc. So there you go. This is from 1965. So yeah, cool. Looking forward to check that one out. Next one. A haunted Turkish bathhouse. We've haunted the house, now we're haunting the Turkish bathhouse. Can I? Yes, I might have to do that. It's probably too late. Whatever. 1975 film. This one, again, Japanese film. With English subtitles. A haunted Turkish bathhouse stars Nikatsu starlet. It's definitely Nikatsu. Naomi Tani as an abused wife sold to a brothel to cover her husband's debts. The deceitful husband is actually behind it all, in cahoots with the brothel owner, who is his lover. Tani discovers the truth and gets whipped to death. Definitely in Nikatsu. However, the dead woman's soul won't overlook the injustice and seeks vengeance. There you go. That's where we're all getting to with that one. Vengeance, Japanese style, with Nikatsu flair. And, that's right, this one, they stuffed up the disc, so you had to get one posted out, I think is what happened here. No, they stuffed it up, but the majority of orders hadn't shipped, but everything was shrink wrapped, so they just chucked another disc in the outer of the package. So if you didn't get that, make sure that you hit them up if you didn't already get that disc. It's going to go wide release with the blue case, it'll all be fine by then, but they were very good at sorting that problem without us having to do anything, unlike some companies that make you send faxed copies of your receipts and things like that. A haunted Turkish bathhouse. And the last one, which is DVD upgrade for me, and I did lie, I have seen this one, but it was so weird and so long ago I remember nothing about it except for it was bloody weird. In the Folds of Flesh gets thought of as being a giallo, gets thrown in that list quite a bit, but I remember it being far weirder than being a giallo. 1971, it's in Italian audio with English subtitles or English dub. Nightmare, A Peal of Thunder. A castle by the sea, a severed head rolls across a carpeted floor. A blood-stained sword lies next to it. It's already weird. Meanwhile, police are in hot pursuit of a criminal who is evading capture on a speeding motorbike. Sounds like a different film. He takes refuge in overgrown castle grounds and he sees a dark-haired woman burying a corpse in a shallow grave. 13 years later, after being recaptured and serving his sentence, the man returns to the castle intent on blackmail and maybe a few other things. It's such a weird sounding one. It even says here, the above synopsis only covers the first few minutes of this wild psychedelic nightmare, frequently described as one of the craziest of an all-Italian giallo thrillers. In the Folds of Flesh is all that and more. It's got dismemberment, but yeah, I remember very little about this one. I must have been it either was that crazy or I didn't pay attention, but I'm looking forward to checking it out properly this time. And it's great that Mondo's keeping these things just coming. Just keep them coming, guys. In the folds of flesh from Mondo. On to the next pile, and this first one, the slipcover. When they announced this slipcover, I know the internet were really, really laughing at this cover. It's kind of grown on me, like this is terrible way, but anyway, Hard Rock Nightmare. That's actually an embossed slipcover. That, when we had the Australian VHS behind it the whole time, I much prefer that cover artwork. That's what we had here on tape. Might have been CBL, I think, might have been the company that released it, and I'm not too sure. I've been told that we might have actually been the only place that had this thing on VHS. I don't know how true that is, but that was something I was told. We had the only tape worldwide. Anyway, Hard Rock Nightmare, there's the back of it. Read a little bit from the back. Director Dominic Braskia from Evil Laugh. Comes this 1988, which just had a Vinegar Syndrome release actually, 1988 direct-to-video horror entry about a hard rock band that gets stalked by a werewolf in a creepy cabin in the middle of the woods. You're just ticking everything off there, aren't you? Every single word there is another cliche. Produced by Scott Bial's brother, Stephen Bial, and Johnny Vanoka, who also appeared in the film. Obscure gem containing all the elements, including nudity, gore, heavy metal, and plenty of atmosphere. Demon, get a spell check. To satisfy any fan of the slasher genre, Dark Force Entertainment is proud to present a brand new HD restoration. Now, this is, legitimately, it's good. It's good that they've unearthed this one. It's never had a DVD, at least a legit one. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that VHS was only Australian. Correct me if I'm wrong. If your territory had a VHS of this film, do let me know. But that's what I had heard. And anyway, that is our cover. That is for sure. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this one out again. The tape I had, I remember being of such poor quality that the film was very dark. And I think there was like tape rolls and stuff. It must have been rented quite a lot. So that's about all I remember about it. Hard Rock Nightmare. Nightmare of a slipcover. And this one, exciting, very exciting. Hundra. How awesome is that? Sort of the female Conan. That's what they're going for here when this thing came out. Another embossed slip. This is a very nice slip. I like that one. And that's the poster art I think I've seen on was there a previous DVD with that cover? I think it was that. I want to put it back there. There she is on the back, looking very Hundrish. Read from the back here. Often referred to as the female Conan. Sword and Sorcery epic stars Laureen Landon from Maniac Cop as the fierce warrior woman Hundra, filled with steamy scenes of barbarian women warriors fighting and making love, set to a thunderous score by Oscar-winning composer Ennio Morricone. It just shouldn't have happened. Just shouldn't have happened. 1983 Spanish production is the story of an archfighter and swordswoman, Hundra, who is superior to any man. She vows revenge when she finds her family and tribe slain, until one day she finds love and her true purpose. Directed by legendary Matt Kimber, best known for the original Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling fame, Dark Force Entertainment presents Hundra, first time in HD. Yeah, very, very exciting to have this. I can't believe Ennio Morricone had anything to do with this. But very nice to have this one on Blu. Like I said, I think there was a DVD. I think it might have even been quite a good DVD, and I think it had that cover. But I never checked it out until I got this edition. So, brand new 2K scan from the only known 35mm print owned by Matt Kimber. Audio commentary, in-depth interview with Matt Kimber and Laureen Landon, 48 minutes long. A brand new on-camera interview with the director, 52 minutes long, and another interview with actor-writer John Goff, 23 minutes long. So lots of cool interviews there. Hopefully they're interesting. So that is Hundra. I don't buy everything that Dark Force puts out, but every now and then they put out some stuff I'm actually really very happy that they do. So Hundra, very, very cool. Got a couple of Eureka items in the Black Friday sale. This was through Amazon. Amazon Australia had a lot of stuff that was, I think you buy two and you got 10% off, something like that. prices were already good, and it just worked out nicely. So I picked up these two I was eyeing off for quite a few months now. Two sets, Karloff in Maniacal Mayhem with the Invisible Ray, Black Friday, and the Strange Door. Slipcover, there's the inside there. So the Invisible Ray is the only one I've watched so far, and that was very enjoyable. What year did that come out? Very small writing, 63. Geez, that's small writing. I'm getting new glasses soon. Hopefully it'll be easy to read this shit. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one, Invisible Ray. It is very of its time, let's just say. There are some there white guys go to Africa cliches happen when they're in Africa. Lots of yes a boss and all that kind of stuff. But the actual science fiction part of this, where you've got both Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi in the same film, sort of feeding off each other as sort of rivals in the science community. It's actually really good. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's the Invisible Ray. Black Friday and the Strange Door. Don't know too much about those ones. Black Friday is from 1940. Did I say 63? These are really bad glasses. It's 1936. I'm tired and I need new specs. 1936 is Invisible Ray, which makes a bit more sense about the things I just said. And Black Friday is from 1940. And Strange Door is from 1951. So quite a bit of time there between the first and the third film. But Black Friday, Karloff is an amoral brain surgeon, so it's amazing already. Dr. Sovak, who transplants parts of gangster's brain into the body of a dying friend, creating a terrifying Jekyll and Hyde figure who starts murdering his former criminal associates. 1940. That sounds amazing. And yes, the last one, Strange Door, has the incomparable Charles Lawton plays the sadistic Sire Alain de Malatroit. Malatroit has kept his own brother locked in a dungeon for 20 years, now wants to ruin the life of his niece by forcing her to marry a violent rogue. The plan is upset when the rogue is unexpectedly noble-hearted and attempts to rescue the girl, aided by an abused servant, Karloff. So that sounds like Karloff might be small fry in that one. So anyway, we'll see how we go. But Black Friday sounds quite good if we've got some like crazy brain operations. Usual Eureka, you get nice edition here. Nice big booklet here about the films. And yep, very cool. And we get Invisible Ray and Black Friday on one disc and The Strange Door on a second disc. So an alternate cover as well. Underneath the Strange Door you can put that artwork if you like. So that's cool. And I presume underneath the booklet, yep, the Black Friday artwork. So yeah, pick your poison, which one you want to be on the front cover. And then the nice slip as well. So yeah, I've said this before. I said it last year for my top films of the year. This early era of horror, the black and white 30s, 40s, I didn't know much about. And the sort of, as I heard the term, poverty row, and this may or may not technically be in that kind of film, I don't know. But that type of very short, 60, 65 minute long, sort of just cheap, quaint, fun horror films, I'm just liking to see lots and lots more of them. So there you go. Karloff, Maniacal Mayhem, which is then followed up by the slightly newer Universal Terror. This one has Night Key, The Climax, and The Black Castle. Really nice artwork on that one. Take the slip off. We have the Night Key as the main poster. And we get, yep, 2 discs again, Night Key and Climax on one, and Black Castle on another, with a booklet, stuff again, and yeah, just alternate artwork I won't bother showing. But I'll read from the back. Oh, there's not much to read from the back. It's on the cardboard sleeve. We will read from the back of the cardboard sleeve. There we go. Trio of horror tales from the vaults of Universal Pictures, all starring the iconic Boris Karloff. pulse-pounding crime thriller Night Key from 1937. Karloff plays the eccentric inventor of a high-tech security system who is kidnapped by a gang of burglars and forced to help them commit a series of robberies. And then in the lavishly produced The Climax, 1944, Karloff plays the house physician at an opera house whose insane jealousy drives him to murder. And finally, Karloff stars as a doctor who risks his own life to save the captives of a mad count in The Black Castle, 1952. He's a doctor quite a bit, isn't he? There you go, Universal Terror, Boris Karloff. Got a bunch of Karloff ahead of me. I'm very happy about that one. The next film. My God, this was mental and sleazy, which is just two qualities I appreciate in a film. This was Emmanuel and Francois, and this was directed by Joe D'Amato, and I'm on a bit of a Joe D'Amato thing at the moment, watching all the sleaze, and my God, this was a quality. This was actually just good fun film. Like, the film itself is good fun. Also called Blood Vengeance. Got a couple other names as well. But I'll read from the back of this one. On the heels of the official Sylvia Kristel sequel Emmanuel 2, and a year before his own first Laura Gemser Emmanuel film, Euro filth maestro Joe D'Amato took the entire formula to new depths of depravity. When a cold-hearted stud, George Eastman, plots drives her sister to suicide. The sister's very cute too, so it's very sad. Emmanuel plots a seduction that includes sodomy, torture, J&B, lesbianism, cannibalism, meat cleavers, and a super groovy 70s soundtrack. It is literally all those things, and it sort of becomes like a revenge kind of film, but it just gets seedier, and like the cannibal bit is real, and the effects get like head scratching, like they're really doing this. And the whole time George Eastman, I love it because George Eastman starts the film as the protagonist, and he's slimy and he's horrible, but then he spends the rest of the film kind of trapped, has to witness all of this filth that happens. I thought this was an absolute riot, absolute hoot. Emmanuel and Francois, and it looks great. We're very, very spoiled by Severin. They do such good quality work. One of the sleaziest Italian exploitation movies ever, it says, and I would believe it. D'Amato proved his sex and violence credentials here. It is still strong stuff. Yes it is. Special feature, 3 women and a mirror. Interview with actress Maria Rosario Riuzzi. I watched most of that, it was interesting. The Other Side of the Mirror, interview with actor George Eastman, and some deleted and alternate scenes and a trailer. Well worth your watching this one. It was... I didn't get it when it came out. I'm not too sure why. I think I wasn't going to jump into all these Emmanuel films. I didn't know enough about the real Emmanuel films and then the knockoffs. I didn't know too much about it, so I didn't dive into it. But it was on Amazon, and I started to get into the Joe D'Amato, so I wanted to get more, and I'm very happy. This is highly recommended. Good fun. This one, I've been waiting to see this for years in decent quality. Haven't popped it on yet. This is I think it is Amityville, is it 4 or 5? Where it fits into the line of things? The Curse. Amityville Curse. We had a really, really bad local DVD that was bordering on public domain. Full screen VHS kind of thing. So I've never seen it looking good. So that's, I don't know. We'll see. Our cover looked a little bit like that, had that font anyway. Let's see from the back here. Return to the most dangerous house in the world. After purchasing a property in Amityville, New York, Debbie, that's Donna Whiteman, and her husband, David Stein, invite 3 of their closest friends to help renovate. Immediately uneasy in their new surroundings, Debbie begins experiencing shockingly vivid nightmares. Vague unease turns to outright terror when the home's inhabitants discover its brutal past, and a mysterious visitor turns up dead. As the line between dream and reality disappears, the focus shifts from renovation to escape. It's a good focus shift. It is not clear who can be trusted or who will make it out alive. So there you go. Another in the Amityville series. Overlooked in any major horror franchise, Amityville Curse deviates from the series formula to surprising, amusing, and unsettling effect. I was hoping to see what number in the series it might be, but it doesn't really say. But I think it's 4 or 5. I think that's where it fits in. 1990 is when this one came out. All kinds of features and a nice new scan, of course, Vinegar Syndrome. But it's actually not Vinegar Syndrome. There's a inside artwork, disc, and booklet. This is one of the partner labels. Who's this one? TVA? Is it TVA Films? Not too sure. I think that's what it says, TVA Films. But yeah, these things all get sold through Vinegar Syndrome, who do obviously the slips, probably involved in the transfers under their whole partner label thing. So yeah, there you go, TVA. I'm pretty sure it's TVA Films. Nice back on that. So Amityville Curse, filling in the gaps. Very cool. This, my God, this was exactly as it says, a blood delirium. Very, I don't even want to try and describe this one. There's like a, it's like an ultra sleazy, somewhere between, I don't know where I'm going to go with this. I actually don't know where I'm going to go with this. I think you should just watch it. It's violent, it's sleazy, it's gory, it's delirious. I'll read from the back, it'll do better than I can. Saint Simon, a deranged and maniac painter, believes that he is the reincarnation of Vincent van Gogh. When his beautiful wife dies unexpectedly, Simon suffers an emotional breakdown and insists that the necrophiliac butler Herman help remove her corpse from the cemetery and bring it back to the castle to help him retain his creativity. Like, he literally just props the corpse up and then paints. Doesn't paint the corpse. She just has to be there so that he can focus. It's just nuts. Still struggling with his art, Simon soon meets a young woman named Sybil, who bears a striking resemblance to his late wife, lures her back to the castle with the intention of making her the new muse. Trapped inside, she must find a way to escape the horrors taking place within the castle walls, as Simon has recently discovered the human blood may hold the key to unlocking his true creative potential. Yeah, like, he ends up just capturing and killing women and using their blood as paint. I mean, that's sort of the main flow. But the butler, Butler is played by Gordon Mitchell, and it was just so weird seeing him in this role. He played it so well. I'm used to him in like all these war movies, and yeah, he's playing, you know, like the full, slightly dense and crazy butler. Like this film, and it's from like 1988. Quite late in the Italian cycle. Sergio Bergonzelli is the director. I loved it. I'd never seen it before this, and when I watched it, I was taking photos of the screen and sending them to people saying this movie is crazy, and then getting people to bump it up their list. So there you go. Look, Blood Delirium. If you didn't pick it up, pick it up. Another Vinegar Syndrome. Got a VSA title here. Hadn't heard of this one, but it just looked very interesting. This is Moon of the Wolf. I understand it's a TV movie from sort of the golden TV movie period, 1972. All these sort of 70s TV movies, American TV movies, there's so much fun to be had, and Vinegar Syndrome has been putting quite a few of them out. But yeah, this one seems really interesting. Strange events have been going on the small Louisiana town of Marsh Island. Local residents are shocked when the body of a young woman is discovered mutilated in a nearby swamp. Sheriff Aaron Whitaker is convinced he is dealing with a murderer like any other. However, some of the more superstitious locals think there may be a supernatural explanation. As more bodies begin turning up, it becomes evident that the sheriff may in fact be hunting a mythological creature known as a lycanthrope, or in other words, a werewolf. With the help of a prominent socialite named Louise, Sheriff Whitaker must uncover the identity of whomever or whatever is responsible for the killings before the next full moon claims another victim. Love a good werewolf movie, but I'd never heard of this whatsoever. So I'm not too sure how these things were shown in the US. I presume they were sort of like cable movies. Maybe they then had a VHS release you could buy. I don't really know how this all kind of worked out. But I'd never heard of it before. It's got an MGM logo on it, so I guess it was on their channel. Yeah, there you go. From 1972, it's only 75 minutes long. Seems like an interesting one. I know Extro showed it and he enjoys this. So there you go. Another. Is this a booklet or a poster? Oh god, it's a poster of it. Poster of the actual film. That's unexpected. Poster of Moon of the Wolf. And yeah, in the VSA box, which are very difficult to get back in. They always want to like bend the plastic back. There you go. One side, other side. Moon of the Wolf. That should be fun. Onto some more Eureka. This one took a while to show up. Not too sure why. Some of these things I've been getting locally through a local distributor, and I think there was just some issue in this one arriving. But some DVD upgrades here for Angela Mao, Hapkido, and Lady Whirlwind. I forget what my Lady Whirlwind was on, but Hapkido was a Hong Kong Legends DVD. Another one to put in the box. Pass on. Sammo Hung, Carter Wong, Chang Li, and Pai Ying, Angela Mao. It's such a like physically weighty set, this one. So yeah, 2 films. I'll read a bit from the back here. Perhaps her most iconic film, Lady Whirlwind, bizarrely retitled as Deep Thrust in the US. What a terrible name. To capitalize on the success of Deep Throat. Which probably made its taglines The Deadly Stroke of Bare Hand Combat and Mistress of the Death Blow a tad misleading. Wow. Stars Mao as a deadly fighter out for revenge on the man who wronged her sister, played by Shaw Brothers veteran Chang Yi. After trafficking the man down, she finds he is on his own vengeful path against a gang of Japanese thugs and agrees to help keep him alive, as long as she gets to take her revenge when it's all over. So that's cool. And then Hapkido, also called Lady Kung Fu in the West, a group of martial artists, Mao, Sammo Hung, and Carter Wong, start their own school to teach the Korean martial art Hapkido. A rival Japanese academy attempts to crush them, deeming Hapkido inferior in their Japanese fighting style. Similar to the plot of Bruce Lee's Fists of Fury, a canny decision by filmmakers capitalizing on Mao as often being referred to as the female Bruce Lee, so I guess very clever. Hapkido was a huge hit in the West, even briefly beating Lee's Enter the Dragon at the box office. Wow, I didn't know that. That's really cool. So you get all the kinds of dubs and subs and all kinds of options there. Audio commentaries, you know, all the good stuff. And there is a poster that's so big it couldn't fit in the case. They put it in the slip. I appear to be actually unfolding it, so may as well show it to you. There you go. Deep Thrust. That's shocking. Deep Thrust. Lady Kung Fu. Nice posters, though. And take a look inside. If you can flip the cover, that's the Hapkido side. Lady Whirlwind on the other side. And yeah, all kinds of things. You get another booklet, 2 discs, physically weighty edition. So that's nice. Nice upgrades there. Yeah, Eureka's been really good at picking up where sort of 88 had started to slack a little bit on releasing some of the Asian films. I mean, they were doing all the Jackie Chans, but that's almost what they were only doing was Jackie Chan. So it's good to have Eureka doing things like this. Very cool. And what they have been doing lots of is this kind of Sammo Hung and some of the more horror type ones. The Dead and the Deadly. Now, I'd never heard of this one, which is not a surprise, but it seems that not many have heard of this one. Apparently it's kind of criminally unseen. There you go. The Dead and the Deadly is a horror action comedy special effects extravaganza in the same vein as Mr. Vampire and Encounters of the Spooky Kind. It looks very Encounters of the Spooky Kind. Directed by Wu Ma. Done so many of these things. In perhaps his best directorial effort, and also starring Sammo Hung, a must-see for both horror and action fans. Wu Ma also stars as a man who fakes his death in order to steal his family's funeral treasure. When the plan fails, the co-conspirators kill him for real, and his vengeful spirit seeks out the help of his friend, played by Sammo Hung, who helps him seek revenge on his murderers. A classic tale there. I like that cool cover art, and yeah, but I do prefer that one. That's really cool. Looks very funny when you look at it with that cover artwork. So yeah, there you go. Another booklet. and all about the film. It's nice that this is a particularly hard one to find, apparently. 1982 Hong Kong film. So yeah, very cool to check this one out. The Dead and the Deadly. If you've seen this one, do let me know what you think of it. Happy with that. Now, I finally took the plunge on some Error 4444, which is still a strange name for a label. I didn't get their earlier releases, but I picked up these two as soon as they announced them. And you could choose the slip covers you wanted, and I chose the Thai slip covers because I thought they're absolutely gorgeous. Centipede Horror. Amazing. Look at that. Centipede Horror. And there's the more commonly known poster artwork. And the other one, Red Spell Spells Red, which I can just about show that, I think. Another great slip. And there's the original, almost looks like a lobby card kind of poster. I have not heard anything about this one before. Centipede Horror is one that I've been curious about for a long time. People that have seen it have said it's a little bit slow, but I'm still very interested in checking this out. I think Vinegar Syndrome did, they didn't do a disc, but I think it was like 5 years ago they did a short digital screening. I think it was Vinegar Syndrome, or if it wasn't them, it was Draft House, I think, might have been. It was one of those two. Had digital copies, and they were you could rent the digital copy for like a week, and then they took it away. I remember that, but now there's a proper Blu-ray, Centipede Horror. Very cool to finally check this one out. There's the disc, and read a little bit from the back here. What should have been a seal of protection turns into a gateway for hordes of flesh-eating centipedes when Y gives a mysterious family necklace to his sister to keep her safe while traveling in Southeast Asia. By chance, this very heirloom catches the eyes of a malicious street food peddler who targets the family with all the fury of his soul. Squirm, shiver, and grab your nearest bath bag because Centipede Horror is not for the weak of stomach. I mean, it's got centipedes in it. What else do you need? It's got centipedes in it. And yeah, I'm liking the construction of these slips and the design of everything. Really looking forward to checking this one out. So it is number 4 if you're doing the spine numbers, but I'm not. It's a very, very nice release. And yeah, the Red Spells Red. Say that a few times fast. The alternate art on this one has the description, so I'll read from the inside. There's the disc. All murder by tree, machete slashing, suicide inducing possessions, and scorpion swarm mayhem is unleashed when a documentary film crew from the city plunges deep into the heart of native controlled jungles to investigate a local black magic legend. But some legends are better left to the imagination. The longer the crew spends in the jungle, the more apparent it becomes that one beautiful member amongst them, Poon Lai Yin, has been afflicted by a deadly curse that causes all around her to die in horrific ways, including death by scorpions. So we got centipedes on one and scorpions on the other. Man, just nutso Hong Kong stuff. I'm very much looking forward to checking them out, and loving the poster artwork. And the last in this pile that we will look at is, it's strange. I never owned this DVD. There's a few reasons why it never happened, but it doesn't really matter anymore. We now finally have not one but 2 Blu-rays to choose from. Vinegar Syndrome got their first, 88 Films got their second, but with a big, fat, just ridiculous set. Righting Wrongs. Yuan Bao, Cynthia Rothrock. This is classic stuff from the Hong Kong golden action period. This edition, just physically, golden age. Beautiful looking reverse sleeve on that. Just amazing. I'm not even going to talk about the film. You all know the film. Righting Wrongs. It's Cynthia Rothrock. Just very early for her. Like second or third film, I think. We'll just talk about what the cuts you get on here. You get 3 different feature-length versions of it. Hong Kong cut, 96 minutes. Singapore cut, 100 minutes. English friendly above the law cut, 92 minutes. You don't really want that one. And an ultimate cut, prepared exclusively for this release that combines footage from Hong Kong and Singapore to present a hypothetical complete version with 4 possible endings. That's 106 minutes long. Lobby cards, just ridiculous. The effort we go into these days, that's like fan edit stuff. That's fan edit material, but it's a real company doing it. That's the disc. You get poster and this massive library book. Look at this thing. The Above the Law artwork, which is really nice. Oh my god, just details, interviews, just all about just the film. Probably a bit more about general Hong Kong stuff, I think, and Cynthia's films that she was working on. So yeah, classic Golden Harvest stuff. What year was this again? 1986. So yeah, very early for Cynthia. It's like film 2 or 3. Can't remember exactly which one was first. But there you go, righting wrongs in an insane box set from 88 films. Well, time to be alive. Can you believe I've made it all the way through my life without ever seeing a single episode of this show? I've seen The Simpsons make fun of it and Futurama, do parodies of it. I've never seen an episode of this show. I've seen episodes of The Outer Limits. I've never seen this. I know it's on Blu-ray, but this I found at a charity shop. The DVD box set of The Twilight Zone. The original Twilight Zone. 28 DVDs in a charity shop. You can keep your Blu-rays. If I'm going to get this for charity shop, prices, I'm stoked. 5 seasons, all on multiple sets here. This is the first season. Multiple discs. This is an absolute insane collection, and this is just DVD. I'm not going to go into how much I paid, but I did say charity shop, right? So, pretty happy. It's a lovely lenticular box. Look at this thing. You all know The Twilight Zone. It was remade in the 80s, and I also haven't seen any of that. This is the original series from 1959 and on. I'll just read a little bit from the back here. There is a 5th dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension of vast as space, as timeless as infinity. The middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition. In it lies, between the pit of man's fears, the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination, an area that we call the Twilight Zone. So yeah, this is absolutely classic stuff that I've never managed to actually see. Just, it's like the world's biggest anthology science fiction series. Just crazy. You get all kinds of stuff here. You get commentaries, vintage audio recollections, don't know what that could be, audio lectures, isolated music scores, unaired pilot. It's a mammoth box set. And yeah, I finally get to check it out now. So Twilight Zone, 28 DVD box set, just amazing. That was a really good day at the charity shop to find that one. This was a good day. I liked the first volume of this. It was very impressive. It came out of nowhere from Arrow. It was surprising when they announced this. I think we all collectively went, what? Okay, not expecting it, because 88 were doing most of these things, and then Arrow just goes, yeah, we're going to do Sure Scope. And this is volume 2. Yeah. I don't know if we're going to get a volume 3. People have changed hands at Arrow, so I don't really know what's going to happen there, but okay, look. Massively cool box. You get big booklet, which we'll quickly look at. So obviously, this is just continuing on from the first box set of just mixed bag of Shaw Brothers films. This time we get the 36th Chamber of Shaolin. And here we get Mad Monkey Kung Fu, 5 Super Fighters, Invincible Shaolin, Kid with the Golden Arm, Magnificent Ruffians, which was formerly a very rare DVD, The 10 Tigers of Kwang Tong, My Young Auntie, Mercenaries from Hong Kong, The Boxer's Omen, which everyone's very excited about getting in here, Martial Arts of Shaolin, Barefooted Kid, And then all kinds of stuff here about just Shaw Brothers, and it's just an amazing book itself. And the discs, they put them in a book structure, so it's quite nice. You get the disc here. I'm not going to take them out, but yeah, beautiful presentation. So sometimes we get 1 or 2 films on disc. It's just amazing. What can I say? They put so much effort into these box sets. Honestly, I think they're quite cheap for what they are. So yeah, get it while you can. The first one, surprisingly, I don't think is sold out. There was threats that it was selling out, but the thing is as well is that there's both US and UK releases of these SureScope sets. So the US ones might have sold out first, but the UK edition of the first one, I think they even had that on sale when I last looked. But anyway, Volume 2 is out now. If you like your Shaw Brothers films, pick it up, make sure you do, support them for doing this. Wonder if we'll get a Volume 3. Like I said, some of the key people at Arrow I think have moved on since the buyout by effectively Zavvi, the Hut Group. So we will see if we get a Volume 3. So that's all the DVDs and Blu-rays, but I said there was a bonus item. We're about to get to a bonus item. You know how you've got... there's always that one title that you know in your heart you'll never get. It's impossible to get, so you just kind of forget it even exists. You're like, oh look, that'd be great, but it's not going to happen. And you look it up and it's always going for hundreds of dollars. This particular set that I'm about to show routinely sells for $300 to $400, and is usually being offered for $500, $600 to $700. I paid $20 for this set. I know how lucky that is. It was at a local group on Facebook with somebody that was importing a bunch of Japanese box sets. He marked them all in at the same $20 each. Everything else was like a Titanic box set, and didn't interest in those. And then I saw this one and I said, is that $20? Yes. I will pay immediately. The Encyclopedia of Horror, Japanese LaserDisc box set. I think this is from about 88. It's written on here or not. It's still got the friggin' Obi strip. The OBI strip is on here. Look at that artwork. And this is just the beginning. So the Encyclopedia of Horror, it's going to be difficult to kind of show, was a, I don't know if it was made for TV or if it was actually literally made for LaserDisc. I don't know. Also, I don't think it's had releases outside of Japan. Again, I'm not too sure. But I'm pretty sure it's an American production. And it's an 80s just look at the history of horror. And it interviews lots of the big name directors of the time in the 80s. It goes through special effects. It just goes through plot devices, types of horror films. It's really, really intriguing stuff. And this is a ridiculous box set. So we'll see what we can do about getting into it. There's the little booklet. It's on the front. It's basically the chapter card booklet, only Japanese. There you go. Must be, yeah, they're the chapters. So I can see here some of it's in English. I can see Cujo and Christine over here. I can see Dark Star and Alligator. I can see Day of the Animals, The Fury, Piranha, Burnt Offerings, Logan's Run, Blood for Dracula. All different years here. Talking about horror. Yeah, can't read a word of that. But the jackets, these sleeves for the actual LaserDiscs, it's criminal that this artwork is not used elsewhere. Just take a look at this. Alright. That's the first disc. That's the fourth disc. I've put them in reverse order. Look at that artwork. Right. Ridiculous. Third disc. Isn't this stunning stuff? Just absolutely stunning. And this whole set is completely mint. I don't think it was ever used. I'll keep these on my lap, I think. Next one. Bit of Freddy. Look at that. Just stunning. Hand drawn, hand painted. And the first one, this is actually my favourite one. We can get this one out, might be a bit tough. We'll just flip the whole set up. There we go. Reanimator, Texas Chainsaw. Just just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous set. Is that the last one in here? It's the last disc. Is there anything else on there? No, that's it. Okay, so it's kind of difficult to show this. There we go. And we'll pop the discs back in. And I assume everyone that's watching this channel has seen a LaserDisc before. Let's take a look at one of them here. The seller actually, this is just amazing, included the original poly inner, but had replaced them because I guess he cleaned everything. It's just mint. There's your LaserDisc, double-sided with the stories on each disc. I think it's 8 episodes over 4 double-sided discs. We flip to the back here. Get this all back in. There we go. You can see on the back here the episodes. We've got Magic of Horror, Classically Shocking Horror, Horrible Nightmares, Creepy Crawly Horror, The Horror of Mad Doctors and Monsters, Hollywood Horror, The Horror of the Living Zombie, and a Video Encyclopedia of Horror Volume 2, which is a strangely named one, but it's just another episode. I don't know why it's got a different name. But isn't that just ridiculous? This was 20,000 yen when it came out, roughly $200 when it came out, and it's going for, on a bad day, $700 to $800. I paid 20. It's the find of the year. This shouldn't even be in Australia. It just shouldn't be here, and I'm thrilled. I am absolutely thrilled to have this. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous box set, and is a fine way to end this update, which I'm going to do right now. And I'm going to apologize for my croaky voice. As I said, very late night last night, and I'm very tired. It is the silly season after all. Hope you all enjoyed this update. If you did, please like, subscribe, check out that thing, check out that thing. I'll see you next time.